Welcome to another edition of My Checka. I have one of my mentors. I'm going to give him some flowers right now. He didn't know I was going to do this for him. This brother only has one son, but he has 340 to 400 other sons, including myself. This man, I would not be the man I am today if it was not for this man right here on the screen that I have on this episode. And I am more than humbled that he came and joined us for this. He was the reason I went to St. Louis University High School. He's the reason I stayed there. And he's the reason that I believe in everything that the Jesuits taught us going forward as a career, as a man. He taught me so much that he don't even understand. He taught me just by his example of who he was and who he walked around in. As he became a Kappa, that's all right, other than that, But the funny thing is, I ascertained that the majority of guys that went to SLUH became Kappas because of this man on the screen right now. Yeah. I mean, it's at least 12.
Yeah. We had I just remember Dan, what's Dan? Dan Hurd.
Yeah.
Dan Hurd, his brother is a Sigma. And so Dan used to wear on dress down days Sigma stuff, and I would ask him. I said, Dan, I don't know if you should be doing.
You should be wearing at the school.
and what was wild is, he's like, yeah, my brother is Sigma, blah 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 blah. He pledged Kappa when he went to school.
I mean, it's just so many good brothers that came from our school. Yeah. I had Kofi on the last episode. I'm so proud of everybody there. I mean, I'm here, Sharon on. He's the head of the FBI department in Dallas.
You know what? I've been trying to get in touch with him because I
send you his number
all the time, man.
I'll send you his number.
Okay. That's
awesome. Yeah. Sharon's doing. I mean, you got Thomas running a hospital in Oklahoma. I mean, that's just surrounding people that was my age. That's not even talking about other brothers that's doing a thing. But this brother here helped recruit me to St. Louis University High School. Was my vice principal. He also ran my work grant program as well. I worked for him. So I literally worked for him. And I'm getting some stories about how he used to beat me up. He used to tell me about myself. I won't use the language on the episode. Actually, let me start off with that. So I remember when I first got there, I used to wear a leather jacket I got some Deion Sanders shoes. I grew up on the north side of St. Louis. That was the two of the proudest things I had was these Deion Sanders shoes and this leather jacket. And I remember he was like, if I see you again with this leather jacket and these shoes on, it's going to be me and you. And anybody doesn't know it's a dress code. Can they wear tennis shoes still? Or can they wear tennis shoes yet? Or
that whole dress code has changed since I left. So it is what it is.
No, you had to wear dress shoes, slacks, and a collared shirt. You couldn't even wear a hoodie unless it was a collar under the hoodie.
That's right.
And I'm wearing a jacket. I got my backpack. I'm illegal. I'm straight to a detention. I got 3-4 different violations going on. And he saw me coming out of my English class, and he said, "You need to go take them. I don't care what you're doing. If you're gonna walk barefooted, you need not to have them shoes on." It went a little bit more extreme than that, but I basically had to borrow somebody else's shoes in the gym, and it was some size 14s that I had to use for the rest of the day to make sure that I did not have any issues with this man right here, Mr. Eric Clark.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the introduction, and I'm very humbled as well. I always say, it's a two-way street. The young men that I've been so blessed to serve, and I say that humbly, I've been blessed to serve. They have molded, and they don't realize, molded me along with God into the man that God created me to be. I couldn't have done this without the young men, the students over the years that I'm still doing that I've had the opportunity to serve. You all just don't know. And you're right. I used to be on the students, especially the students of color, because there wasn't a lot of us.
Right. Now they got more than one lunch table, as me and Kofi was saying.
That's right. And I used to make y'all take 3 steps as opposed to when your counterparts, the white students, they had to take one. But I made sure that we wasn't, our mess was not going to stink. You know, if a student of color did something wrong, it was going to be something wrong. It wasn't going to be nitpicky stuff. So yeah, that's all that was. That was just love. That was just love.
Yeah, it was. I needed it. I needed it at the time, you know, and it was like, man. And then as I went through, I understood. By the time I was out there, I wasn't doing nothing. I was following what I needed to be doing and getting myself ready for college, you know. So let's start from the beginning, Mr. Clark. Sure. So where are you from in St. Louis?
So I'm from North Side. I'm from North St. Louis in O'Fallon Park area. Matter of fact, I grew up across the street from O'Fallon Park on Cary Avenue.
Okay.
So my mom and dad divorced when I was 3. And so it was just me and my sister. My sister is 7 years my senior. And so my mom she worked her tail off and put us through Catholic education. Went to Most Holy Rosary Catholic grade school. Where
was that at?
That was on Margaretta and Newstead. And now it's the Joyce Myers Dream Center. So it was across the street from this public school called Ashland. And so, like I said, it was on Newstead and Margaretta. So then after that, she said, all right, you all will continue your Catholic education. My sister went to Xavier, which was on Lindo. It was on the SLUH campus, St. Louis University campus. And then it closed down. And then she transferred to Incarnate Word, where my mom sent me to St. Louis U High. I wanted to go to CBC because all of my friends were going to CBC.
All the brothers was going to CBC.
Yes. All the kids I grew up with playing football, et cetera, and so forth with the Royal Knights, they went to CBC. But my mom said, no, you're going to SLUH. So
really? So your mom made you go to SLUH?
She made me. That's right. She made me go to SLUH because I wanted to go to CBC. First, to be honest with you, I wanted to go to Mercy. It was Mercy at the time, which Mercy has morphed into basically Trinity, if you will.
Okay.
And now that's closing this year, end of this school year. But anyway, I wanted to go to Mercy because girls were there.
Right, and it was co-ed.
That's right. And my mom said, no, you had enough dealing with girls. You're going to SLUH. So I ended up going to SLUH. So yeah, that's the deal.
So when you were at SLUH, like how many brothers were in the class then, in your class?
That's a good question. So actually it was 13 of us that started in 1979 as freshmen. It was 13 of us and 7 graduated. It was 7 of us that graduated. Yeah, 6 ended up leaving. Now, in the whole school, it probably was maybe 15 to 25 African-American students. Yep.
So your class was a big class even then. That's how my class was when we came in with 24.
That's right.
At the time.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yep.
So you would end up going to SLUH, and then you play football. You play running back, right?
Yep. I ran.
And do you still have the record for kickoff return?
And now it's tied. It's like 6 of us that have that same record.
Yeah, I remember. I heard of when Willard, rest in peace to Willard.
Yeah.
When you wanted to make sure that he didn't break it. You ran over to the scores table to make sure.
That's right. Say, how many yards was that? How many yards was that?
So nobody's run out the end zone because yours was 99, right?
No, it was 95. It was 95.
Okay, so nobody's ran farther from that then. So it's tied.
No, so that actually I've tied. It's 3 people that are tied with me, and then there are 3 that have broken.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm number 6. Well, tied for, it's 3 of us tied for the longest record,
Yeah, you had it for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you ran track too, right?
I ran track. Yeah, I ran track and I played football. Yep.
So being a Black student at SLUH at the time, like how was that feeling kind of around that time? Because I know Mr. Jones was there. I don't know what year he graduated though.
He graduated in 73.
Okay, yeah, I know Woody's dad went there early in the game.
Yeah. And you know, it's nothing different than it is today. You know, African Americans that, to be honest with you, African Americans have always been sort of entertainment for the majority of folks, you know, of white folks, if you will. And you think back to I shouldn't say just African Americans, but people of color. You think back to the Greek days, you know, the Colosseum and all of that, you know. And so when it comes to African American athletes, you know, we're treated differently, right? They're treated differently now, you know. And it's all about this is entertainment, and it's not just athletes, it's about entertainers too, singers and actors or whatever. So the majority of non-people of color look at those people of color who are athletes and entertainers as different. You know, I saw an episode, it was a documentary on the Ku Klux Klan, and they were talking to this member, and he had a Michael Jordan shirt on. and the interviewer said, so you don't like African American blacks, but you have he says, well, he's different, you know. So with that being said,
I'm not black, I'm OJ. He's OJ.
That's right. And so at St. Louis University High School, it was no different. My classmates who were not athletes, some were harassed. And what I ended up doing, me and several other African-American athletes, we used that platform to be the defenders, if you will, where we would check those students who were trying to bully our brothers, and they would leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? But when we weren't around, it was an issue. So I was treated differently because I was an athlete, you know. And so did I have any issues with whether it was a teacher or a classmate or a schoolmate? No, I did not. Now, but however, I do know that some of my classmates had issues, you know, whether it was a teacher or whether if it was a schoolmate, harassing them, calling them names, et cetera, and so forth. But when we would hear about it, we would approach that student to say, you know, what's up? And they would always deny it, always deny it. So
no, it didn't happen like that, Clark. It didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So you ended up going, so you ended up staying in Jesuit education, going to St. Louis University. What made you want to stay in St. Louis and still stay at a Jesuit school on top of that? Because people understand that Jesuit education it's a doozy. Yeah. Because when I went to college, it was my first 2 years, I tell people all the time, were easier than my 4 years. I didn't study for real to my senior year in college. And that's when I'm talking about, like, it was stuff I literally already read or knew. I just had to refresh myself, and I was getting A's and B's. Yeah,
St. Louis University High School, without a doubt, that was the best decision that my mom has ever made for me. It prepared me for college. It prepares any student. It prepares them with study habits, how to manage time, and that's what it did with all of us, right? And so I ended up going, when I left SLUH, graduated from there, I went to Northeast Missouri State.
You did? Wow. Okay.
That's where I went. I went to play football.
So Northeast Missouri is Truman now.
Now it's Truman, right? But back then it was Northeast Missouri State. I went to play football, and come to find out, football in high school is totally different from football in college. I had fun in high school. In college, it was a job. They want you to eat, sleep, drink football. And I knew that I was not going to, I didn't have plans to become a professional football player. So anyway, I ended up staying there at Northeast Missouri State until the end of my sophomore year. I came home and went to UMSL and got my bachelor's degree in psychology. And then I continued on at UMSL and got my master's in psychology with emphasis in industrial organizational relations. And then from there, I went to SLUH to get another master's in educational administration. And then I got my doctorate from SLUH in educational leadership.
So what made you, so what bad jobs did you have in between before you came back to SLUH as a diversity director? What was like, you know, you had to work as a gas station attendant, pumping gas, you know, or something?
Yeah, you know, what's wild is I wanted to be a CEO or a manager of the human resource department of a Fortune 500 company. That's what I went to school for. However, every interview that I went on, they said, you have the credential, because I like I said, I got my bachelor's and continued on and got my master's in IO, industrial organizational. And so they said, you have the credentials, but you don't have the experience.
How do I get the experience if I don't, you know?
That's right, that's right. So what I ended up doing was working for my aunt. She was the director of elections for the city of St. Louis. And so I ended up working there as a supervisor of the warehouse. And so I did that for, probably about 6 years. And meanwhile, while I was there, you know, I wasn't happy because it was very political. But what I ended up doing, I ended up volunteering at St. Louis U High for their minority action plan. And so that was going on probably in the late 80s, early 90s, because the African-American alumni, including myself, we were concerned with the lack of minority students that were coming to SLUH and that were staying at SLUH, and the lack of minority teachers that were there. And so they developed this minority action plan. And so it was Darryl Jones, and other alumni. Yep. We got together and we were meeting with the president, et cetera, and so forth. And out of that plan came a position called Director of Diversity. It was an assistant principal director of diversity. And so when this position came, they created it, and then they were like, okay, now we got to get somebody. And so they said, Eric, do you want it? Yeah, why not?
So it was that simple. It was like, do you want to do it?
To be honest with you, it was like, do you want it? And you know, I had the credentials, right? And I was an alum. I was on this minority action plan. And so they, you know, it was a new position. And so they offered it to me. And so that's how I got back. That was in 1992. And that's how I got back to St. Louis University High School. And been there ever since. Got on, you know, worked there for 16 years. I was the assistant principal.
Well, let's step back to when you recruited me in 95. So
yes, that's right.
And I don't know if you ever knew. I mean, you probably do, because I didn't.
You go to Storm and stuff, man?
Yes, I did. I remember when you came to recruit, and they were like, who's your best student? And they pulled me out, and I was like, I'm going to Metro, because I was already gotten to Metro, and you was like, hold off on that. Let me do some stuff, because it was late in the year. It was like May. Yeah. Everybody already got their acceptance letter. And the thing is, I didn't even do the summer program with all the other brothers, because I got in, I didn't decide till like July.
That's right.
And I got in the Metro. I mean, I literally was technically enrolled in Metro when I went to SLUH, because the way I was, when they were sending me things saying like, you're not going to class, because the city school system hadn't realized that I didn't decide to go there. They were sending things saying I was delinquent and I was, you know, I hadn't went. I was like, I'm at another school, y'all. I never went to orientation, never did anything.
Yeah.
And I was in July, and you were like, trust me, it's gonna be the best decision. It was literally me and you in a classroom talking about it.
And you know, it's such a small world, Darryl. You know, I knew your mom.
Yeah, I know. And my mom was like, my grandma was like, you going to SLUH now? I was like, nah, I'm already got in the Metro. I got the letter. I'm going to Metro. And the thing was, at the time, people don't remember every magazine used to do like the top Black students in America, and Metro would have 2 or 3 people. So that was my thing of like, well, Metro's got this, and this. Yeah. And I remember you were like, don't worry about that. I'm telling you, I talked to some people. So I talked to Mr. Jones. I talked to, I forgot who else. I talked to somebody else. One is like, look, you got in, you need to, it ain't no discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to go ahead and go.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming there, you know.
I remember coming over to asking Jackie Turnage.
Yes,
if I could talk. Yes. I'm telling you.
I mean, even because two other guys from SLUH ended up coming as well. John Rose, you know, he's a captain of the fire department down in Atlanta now. He ended up moving from SLUH and went to Atlanta then, so he didn't finish with us. And then Tim Evans is a Air Force captain.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. So yeah.
So why you? So no. Then it was so people understand. So you signed me on to be a recruit, and then go to another job at the school after. So I get there, I'm thinking, oh yeah, Mr. Clark's gonna be here. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, well, we looking for a diverse. I'm like, so what happened to Mr. Clark? Oh, he's your vice principal now. Over disciplinary. So not like so now he has recruited you and now he is your enemy.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You know, and Darryl, that was the best. I love both of those jobs, right? But I really love the dean of students because I was able to show, I believe, at a predominantly white institution that we are more than just service industry. You know, we're more than just janitors or cafeteria workers or whatever. You know, when I became the assistant principal dean of students, you know, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm here for the brothers. I got to keep them in line, but I'm here for these white students too, to let them know that, you know, we more than just what you all see on TV, you know, on radio or whatever. You know, we more than entertainers and all that stuff. And that was I believed not only did I do good work for the brothers that were there, I did good work for the white students as well, because they were educated as well. You know, even some of them white parents that I had to deal with when they son got in trouble and they had to see, I want to see the dean of students.
Oh, you got that Saturday jug. Got that Saturday jug, and they like, hold on, we got to go from Saturday all day.
That's right. So yeah, I really enjoyed that job, man. But yeah, it was good.
So how was it for you with the transition from? So my class is the last class that remember the old SLUH.
Yeah.
And with the transition, like, how was it seeing for you from, like, in your perspective, seeing this to this, of the old SLUH with no air conditioning when I first came in, all the way to now they got a field house and they got all this stuff. Did you understand, know the vision of what they were doing then to what it is now?
They talked about it, but you know, it was like,
okay,
you just see it on paper, you know. But now it's a mini college campus.
Do you remember when the Metrolink was supposed to come there originally?
Oh yeah. And it's a mini college campus, and without a doubt, they're competing, if you will, with the CBCs. You know, CBC is a great place too with their campus.
I don't know about that, Mr. Clark. I mean, I defer on that.
I say it's good.
Some of the brothers they got out of there, you know.
But yeah. So yeah, I saw it on paper. I think I wouldn't say that it's better or worse. It's just different, you know. Even when I was in school there, you know, it from when I was there to what you experienced was different, you know. So it wasn't better or worse. It was just different, you know. I would say it was better when it came to heat, but see, when because we didn't have central air when I was there.
Right, they didn't either when I was there either.
Okay, so my
freshman year, remember the new SLUH was fully built. My sophomore year, we came back because we didn't have any snow days. We had to be out of there, but like the end of April because of the construction.
That's right. And there was no such thing as a summer dress code or a heat dress code, you know, where you can wear shorts, you know, because yeah, we had a summer dress code when we didn't have any air conditioning, But when the air came, because we used to have heat days, you know, half days for heat
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But now, you know, but then, you know, when they got that central air, you know, it was like, what? You don't need to wear shorts. What
Right.
you need shorts for?
Well, people would be stretching it. People would be
Yeah,
stretching it.
yeah,
People
yeah.
would be stretching it. They would be stretching it. So you transitioned into being the president of Loyola Academy, which is for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade boys, right?
Yes, yes.
So
So
what made you decide to make that move to there, you know, at
that's a
that
great
time?
that's a great question, and it's a simple answer. I have to say God, you know, because in 2000, believe it or not, in 2003, so Loyola was in existence, which just to let the audience know, Loyola Academy is a Jesuit nativity middle school for boys who have the academic potential to succeed at a St. Louis U High, DeSmet, Chaminade, et cetera, and so forth. But because of socioeconomic issues, they may be hindered from reaching their full potential. So the majority of our students are at the poverty level or below. About 85% come from a single family home led by a matriarch of some sort, you know. Um, um, the students might be, if they go on to college, they will be first generation to go on to college. Some of them might be first generation to graduate from high school. So basically what we're doing at Loyola is with the wraparound education, having with the extended day. Our day begins at 7:30 in the morning and they get out at 5:30 in the evening. And then we have extended year where they begin school the end of July and go through the middle of June. And then what we do, we follow them. We call ourselves an 11+ year program. We follow them through middle school, of course, but then when they move on to these college preparatory high schools, we follow them for 4 years, making sure they're transitioning well during those years. And then when they move on past high school, we follow them to try to find them, help them find their success route. And yes, we would love for them to get a 4-year, get a college degree. However, college isn't for everyone, right? So they might get a trade of some sort. They might go into the service. Whatever their success path is, we try to help them through that. And so that's why we call ourselves an 11+ year program, you know. And so that's what we do. You can see the
The kids.
my screen, sir. You know, it's predominantly brown and black kids. We'll currently we sometimes we'll have one or two white students, but the key is that all of them are at the poverty level or below.
Also, a kid can't just like parents like, I just want them to go there and just pay for them to go.
And we've had lawyers.
That's what I was going to say. That's one of your next questions. Like, have people been like, hey, let me get my son in there?
Yeah, and they've said I'll pay full tuition, you know. And what we try to do is we are doing so when we're trying to prepare them for these college prep high schools, we're giving them a pre-college prep high school curriculum, if you will. So it's difficult, you know, but these students can do it. They just need to be told. I mean, you know, I'm a firm believer that any student, especially a student of color, can rise to expectations. However, we have to be careful to whom expectations they rise, right? Because society is expecting these kids, us, to early death, life of crime, early fatherhood, you name it. What they see on TV, that's what they're expecting of these students, right? And so what we're trying to do is say, hey, no, we have high expectations of our students. We telling our students to shoot for the moon, and if you miss, grab a star. You know, you can't, it's not if you go to college, it's where you going to college. It's not if you graduate from high school, it's when you graduate from high school. So it's those high expectations that we have to have for ourselves, for the future, if you will. This is the future generation. So
how many students are in a class, particularly in
so there are 20 to 22 students per class. So we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So the optimum number of students at Loyola might be between 60 and 65 students.
Wow.
And so, yeah. And so, you know, you asked me, how did I get to Loyola? And it was God, because to be honest with you, I thought I was going to stay at SLUH. I wanted to stay at SLUH. I wanted to retire from SLUH.
Yeah.
But in 2003, the president at the time of SLUH told me to go talk to the board president at Loyola, because they was looking for a president. And it was Father Paul Sheridan. And I said, Father Paul, did I do something wrong? And he's like,
right,
no.
right. You trying to get me out of here?
Right. And he said, in Jesuit education, we cannot become complacent to what we're doing. We always need to be striving to do more. So he said, I want you to go over there. I think you'll be good as the president over there. And I said, okay, I'll go talk to the person. And I went over there and talked to the board chair. And when I left, I said, thank you, but no thank you. And I left and I came back to SLUH and was happy at SLUH. Then in 2006, the president that they hired at Loyola called me. He said, I want you to be the principal, because they was looking for a principal at the time. I said, Kevin, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm happy. And so I ain't even go over there. That was in 2006. Then in 2008, he called again and said, hey, we need another, we're looking for a principal. We just moved into a new building across the street, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought,
so where were they at before? So they're right by Cardinal Ritter. Where were they at before that?
They across the street.
Okay.
So they moved from one building to another building across the street.
Okay.
On the same square block at Cardinal Ritter. And so, you know, that third time I said, man, this has to be more than human. This has to be God, you know, it has to be a reason. And so, you know, I discerned and prayed about it, talked to my wife. We cried and the pros and cons. And it was like, okay, God is calling you to do something. And so I ended up I went to Loyola as the principal. And so that was in 2008. And then after my first year of completing that job, the president left. He said he was leaving. So the board chair that I talked to in 2003, he came and he said, we want you to do both. I said, do both what? He said, be the president and the principal. We want you are the face of Loyola. I said, no. They said, yes. So I did the president and the principal's job for 1.5 years. Then I was able to relinquish the principal's role, and then I became the president. So then I started thinking, man, and I said to the board chair, I said, you know what? In 2003, I told you no, and now we're in 2009, and now I'm in that position. And I said, you know, God has a plan. You know, it right then and there, it wasn't time.
Yeah.
2003, but now is the time. So with all that being said, people say, well, what made you leave? It was God. You know, I had to be stretched. You know, I was doing good. God was like, you're doing okay here at SLUH. You're doing good work here at SLUH, but you need it over here. These young brothers need you over here. And so this is my 13th year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you were at SLUH for how long? For as a vice principal. No, you were there from like 91 then, right? 92?
I started in 92 and left in 2008. So I was there for 16 years.
So you almost you button up next to.
I'm at 30. I'm at 29 years of being in Jesuit education administration.
Oh man.
I know. I just felt like, man.
You said you take those kids on a retreat, stuff like that we did. So it's the same. It's basically the same curriculum we had, right, but just younger version.
That's exactly right. Giving them experience in the same type of thing, but at a younger age, and an adjusted curriculum as well. You know, this, you know, it's a pre-college preparatory high school curriculum, as opposed to a college preparatory high school curriculum. But yeah, man. So yeah, them my sons, man. Like you said, I got one biological, but
Right, but you got 400.
Yeah, man.
It's more than that now. I was just considering the
Yeah.
brothers at SLUH. I ain't even add in these young brothers at all. I was just talking
Yeah.
about the brothers that came through the halls of SLUH High.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, how's your wife doing too? I forgot to ask you that, tell her, I said hey and everything.
I will, man. I will. She's doing well, man. She's in, both of us are in education, right? But she's in public school. So she's in the Hazelwood School District. So yeah, she's talking about retiring in 3 years. I think she's been, so if this is my 29th year, my wife probably has 25 years maybe.
Yeah, because the last time I saw you was at Mr. Anderson's birthday party right before the shutdown.
That's right.
It was literally, I'm talking about maybe the next day, everything got shut down because it was everybody was talking about it at the party. About what, hey, well, you heard this thing going on, and they talking about shutting down airports and shutting down this and that.
Yeah, man. Educating people, educating young people, educating period, not just young, but old as well, college students during this pandemic, man. And I firmly believe, I always say, this is a twin pandemic because we're educating them during the institutionalized systemic racism that's going on, with George Floyd, all of that. So that's one pandemic. And then you got COVID as the other pandemic. So
how was that been for students and been for you all with students being remote and things like that?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, how's that been for the kids being remote previously? And like you said already, a lot of them aren't in homes necessarily where they may have internet or may have a laptop or anything.
Yeah. And see, that's what happened, Darryl. To be honest with you, COVID, I believe, and Jesuit education causes you to find God in all things, in the storm, in the good times, in the bad times, all of that. God is there. And so people say, well, how is God in this COVID thing? Well, you know what? God was here because he allowed the blanket to be pulled back over all of the inequities that are going on in society with the marginalized community, right? So just what you spoke on, where you saw the inequalities come about when kids had to learn from home. And so they were being issued laptops, those, especially in the school districts that were more able to afford to give every student a laptop. But what you ended up finding out was there were some students who didn't have Wi-Fi, right? they didn't have a laptop. They couldn't, when it was time to be on your screen, they couldn't show their face because they were ashamed of showing their house, right? Or whether it was where they live or who they lived with. You see what I'm saying? So all of those things came to light, which we knew existed, but we knew existed in our own community. The more to-do folks, they had opportunity to see, man, what is going on, And so that's what COVID saw. We saw it in education, we saw it in housing, we saw it in healthcare,
employment.
We saw it in employment, and now we're seeing it where people want to get on people and say, man, we can't pay them, we're paying them too much unemployment. You're not paying them too much unemployment. You're not paying them enough.
In the first, they got to know what it meant to have a living wage.
Exactly. So, but see, that's how society is. Society is looking at it as, man, we're giving them too much money for unemployment. Instead of saying, we're not giving them enough money to live. So
and you think I'm gonna go back? I'm getting X amount. I'm gonna go backwards.
That's right.
We paid all our bills this month on this. I mean, literally, and we ain't gotta worry. We good.
That's right. And you calling me lazy instead of just saying the problem is we're not paying you enough. So it's, man, I tell you, I mean, like I said, these two twin pandemics just pull the cover back on all of this stuff that's going on, and so, of course it has had an effect on my students. I mean, I had to beg, which is my job, is to get monies and funds to support these students. But, I had to get money to get them laptops, to
get them a
Wi-Fi
hotspot
in there. Yeah, hotspots and all of that, where we're a small mom and pop school, where you had these school districts, they were able to get it because they had monies coming from the state. Well, my monies come from individuals and corporations, foundations. So, that sort of thing. So anyway, so it's been tough. And we've been able to do, when we first got started, we were doing virtual learning for all students. And then when we start getting control, if you will, of the virus, this was before the vaccine, we had hybrid learning, where we divided the whole student body up into 2 cohorts. So each cohort came to school 2 days a week in person, and then 3 days a week virtual learning. So that's what we did. And so it worked out. We did have some cases where it was COVID. It was mild cases, but we survived, man. I mean, kudos to teachers, man.
That's why I understood that. I mean, I also realized my daughter is a bully in school. All this, like anything you tell me about her now, a teacher, I'm just gonna believe it. Because she walks around, because she has the tablet, so she could be in her bedroom with her feet kicked up on the wall. And I'm like, "Are you in class?" "Yeah, I'm in class." And then she'll turn around like, "Well, she is in class." She does. Yeah. I'm like, "Do you do this at school?" She's like, "Yeah, we walk around." Like, what do you mean walk around?
Yeah, yeah.
So now at least parents know it is your son that is or your daughter is a little bit disruptive.
That's right. That's right.
Buy that teacher a little bit extra or something at the end of the school year.
That's right. That's right.
So what is the future for Loyola? What is like the vision for you for the future of Loyola Academy?
That's a great question. So right now we're in the midst of a strategic plan right now. And so unfortunately, what we're finding when the young men are coming to us in the 5th grade, with us being a small mom and pop shop, it's 27 of us adults that work in the building, talking about from maintenance to the president. So I have 6 colleagues that are teachers, right? And so the math teacher teaches all math, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math, so on and so forth. So we don't have any financial resources where we can get teachers aid, etc., teachers aids and
an enrichment teacher, or
yes,
anything like that.
Yes. So unfortunately, we cannot accept a young man who's more than a grade level below his current grade, because we just don't want to set him up for failure, because we won't be able to get him up to par when he moves on to these college preparatory high schools. So with that being said, part of our strategic plan, we are looking to go a grade lower to get another cohort. So we're looking for 20 students, and by the year 2023, we're looking to have a fourth grade / 5th grade cohort, or it would just be a full 5th grade cohort, just trying to get them at an early age. Because what we're finding is these young people, these young men, when they're coming in, they're so far behind, and we need to be able to get them up to par. What's sad, and it's just the educational state right now, young people, if you are learning to read from preschool to 3rd grade, you're learning to read. And then from 3rd grade on, you're reading to learn. Okay. Now, if you have not learned to read by the time you hit 3rd grade, you're behind
with everything.
With everything. And that's what's happening right now. in not all public schools, but the majority of the public schools. But then that goes into another reason, why is it happening? And then that leads to the lack of resources that are being presented.
Those schools.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's that vicious cycle. So with all that being said, what we're trying to do, part of our strategic plan, is to go down with the thought of eventually, who knows? To be honest with you, we need to go further down than the 4th or 5th grade, because as I just stated, what research is saying, right? And so, but it costs, right? You have to have money, and we're not a public school, right? We're not charter, so we don't get money from the state like charter schools get. They get so much for students, right? For every pupil.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that. Our budget is $2 million a year, and I have to go and raise that money from individuals, corporations, and foundations, writing grants, etc. But nothing comes from Jesuits. The Jesuits don't give us any money, and the state doesn't give us any money. So with all that being said, it's a tough road, but it is what it is. It has to be done. I wish there were many, many, many more Loyolas out there.
Yeah.
I wish that Loyola could serve more than just 60 students currently. I mean, we serve about 140 because, as I said, we're an 11+ year program. So we serve the 60 students that we have, but then the 80 students that are out there in high school and in college. So we're still serving those students, but I wish we could serve many more, because there are a bunch of us, that needs to be served, and I'm just talking about boys, girls too, So
what is the percentage of kids, like where do they end up going? Like what is the percentage of kids where they end up going in St. Louis?
That's a great question. So it varies from year to year. So the majority of our 8th graders now, they are going to, we have 8, it's 20 of them. 8 of them are going to CBC. We have 4 going to DeSmet. We have 3, now I might lose count. We got 3 going to St. Mary's. I think we might have 2 at Lutheran North. We have 2 at SLUH. And maybe the following, maybe 2 at Cardinal Ritter, something of that nature.
Okay.
But it depends on year to year, the previous year we had 7 go to DeSmet, so it all depends on, 1, the makeup of the students, and 2, how when the students, what we do, we take them on high school visits. Like you go college visits, we take them on high school visits, and it all depends on the dog and pony show that the high school shows, to the students, so it gets them. So so it all depends on year to year. We've had young men go to Burroughs, Chaminade. So it all depends,
So Burroughs is recruiting from your school too? Wow. I mean, that's not even, wouldn't even.
No, wow. you wouldn't think it, but yeah. So the good thing is that lets you know that the word is out about Loyola Academy, right? But so like I said, we got Burroughs. We actually had Priory knocking on our door, because I don't know if you remember back in the day, the CBC basketball coach was Bobby McCormick.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So
that was when I was there. Yep.
So Bobby McCormick, now he is the admissions director at Priory and the basketball coach.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and so what we've done too, we have not allowed, we don't allow coaches to come recruit. I get coaches calling, I get, because you all play in CYC and just like any other Catholic school, right? Yep.
Oh, so they're seeing these kids in CYC.
Yep.
Oh, that's okay.
And I tell them, I say, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to send stuff over, and I'll make sure we get it in their Thursday folders because they take home folders. I said, but no, you can't come recruiting talking about play for me or do this or do that. You can't do it. Now, I'm sorry that now if you want, when they come to you, you can talk about academics.
Yeah.
Because once again, that feeds into that
whole entertainment aspect you were saying.
Oh, now, yeah, we're more than that, you know. And and so, you know, so many times, and what I don't want to do is block any student's dreams. So if a student says, you know, Dr. Clark, I want to be a professional basketball player or whatever, this or that, or a rap star, that's great. But just giving them something else to think about. But it's great to be a basketball player. But let's talk about how much actually percentage of them that's actually in it. Let's talk about being the owner of the basketball, or, you know,
or the owner of the label.
Yeah. So anyway, just raising the expectations in here, right? Of what they can do. They can do so much more, man. I mean, come on, we kings.
Yeah,
we kings, you know.
So I mean, I didn't even know if you knew. You need to go. You need to call John Shipp. You know, he's over the VP of diversity for AB now.
Is he really?
Just got it like a couple weeks ago.
I didn't know that. I thought John was still in the service, man.
No. That was he's had only one job out of service is AB. He's been an AB since like 2007.
Wow. That's awesome. That's
awesome.
Yeah. So he's over diversity at AB.
Yep, diversity and inclusion. Because he was like, man, tell Clark to call me, man. Because I told him I was doing an interview. He's like, tell him to call me.
Man, that is so cool, man.
Yeah.
And see what I want to do too is have brothers like yourselves and that are doing things that my students can have their minds open, their eyes open to. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, and
we're not corny brothers either, so it's not like you know the Poindexter walking up there like, hey,
that's right.
The pocket and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, you know, we come in all facets. This brother's that smart that you may not assume stereotypically would look like the brother that'd be going to SLUH or going to Chaminade.
That's right. And just understanding that these brothers that I'm working with is no fault of their own and no fault of their families, but the majority of those who they are seeing, they don't have those type of jobs because like these may be the first, right, to go on to college or go on to high school. So they don't see these type of individuals. So to see these individuals that are doing something besides what their dad might be doing, or if they see their dad, sometimes the majority of them are incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm talking about, man. I would love to have my young brothers, you and Thomas and Eric, you know, coming over to say, hey, this is what I do, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get into, we got a text group. I'm gonna have to jump in our text group and like, hey, we need to go ahead and go over to Loyola.
Yeah, and, man.
Check those little brothers out.
Somebody got married not too long ago. I think you was in. You went to Teddy.
Yeah. Teddy got married about a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he invited me to it was either a diaper thing or an engagement or something. I know I was invited to something, but I couldn't go. And I was like, man, this is just wild to see y'all men, y'all grown men, you know.
It's crazy because like we just all think like, man, like we like for real, we're like the older guys. I don't feel like it, you know. I was like, you know, it's the same crew of people I've been around since high school. You know, it's the same brothers, you know.
Yeah.
We're all the same, you know.
And y'all doing it. Y'all are doing it.
I mean, literally, like I tell people all the time, I wouldn't have been around brothers like that. Even though I've been at Metro, that'd have been great. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I would have did great things potentially, but the people I met, and the brothers, not just even the brothers, my white fellow counterparts and friends I met there, you know, long relationships with forever, you know.
And you know what's funny? I saw you. I saw your podcast with Alec Pinkston.
Yes,
you know?
Me and Alec hang out all the time.
Yeah, and Alec worked for me too. And
that's how me and him became friends.
Yes, yes,
That's how
yes,
we became
yes.
friends.
Yes.
He also got we also adopted him freshman dance because he had a black date. So he just rolled with us to go eat at Calico's afterwards.
Oh my God. Now
He was
Alex,
like, I'm going with the black guys. They all got black dates. We gonna go roll with them.
now Alec, did he and his brother own Three Kings or
His
something?
brother owns Three Kings.
Oh, his brother does. Yeah.
His
yeah,
older brother owns Three Kings. Yeah.
Man, I tell you, man, like I say, man, you all, like at the beginning, like I've said, I'm so humble because you all don't know this is a two-way street, man. I have grown so much from you all, you know. You all help mold me into, like I said, the person that God created me to be, you know, and I still learn.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know it all. You know, I made mistakes with you cats. I know I did, you know, like you said, it's some choice words.
Yeah. And that was your first year on the job too. So that's like your first year being a parent. So it was like,
hey, I don't know if you heard, you ever heard of those black 8 balls?
Yeah.
I didn't have it when you all were there, but but they used to have these black 8 balls you used to shake,
and they give you the answer.
Ask it a question.
Yeah.
So I think somebody gave me that as a gag gift, like in 2003 or something like that. So what I would do.
So you would have to gamble your life on the jug?
so what I would do, I had it on top of my credenza and back of my desk. So whenever a black student came in my office, Darryl, whenever a black student came in my office, I reach up and grab it and put it down in front of me. And then, because I'd be fired up, I say, now you in my office, and every white student and white person is out there looking, saying, what is he gonna do to him? I say, so now where am I? And they say, what do you mean? You sitting in your desk? I say, where am I? What's in front of me? They say, the 8 ball. I say, so now I'm behind the 8 ball.
Oh. You should have made him shake it up like, am I gonna get a jug?
Yeah, man. So yeah, man. I'm telling you, you all just don't know, man. You all molded me. Probably what I did then with educating you all back then has prepared me to deal with these young men now, man. I'm telling you, it's a blessing, man. I'm so blessed, man. I'm blessed.
So, Mr. Clark, thank you for doing this. We got one more. We have a game I'll call This or That. You just have to choose between 2 different things.
All right.
That's all you have. All right. Sanford and Son or Good Times?
Sanford and Son. Yeah, I still watch it now. It come on weekends on Saturday on 756. That's what it is on Charter Cable. So yeah, I watch it every Saturday.
You weren't a Good Times person.
I'm not a Good Times person, man.
All right, Coming to America or Harlem Nights?
Harlem Nights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love Harlem Nights, man.
You wasn't a Coming to America guy, huh?
I liked it, but I liked Coming to America, but I loved Harlem Nights. I loved it.
All right. Boys in the Hood or Juice?
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. When that came out, I was telling people, man, that was a scary time when that came out.
Yeah. Dope boy. Yeah.
All right. So Chinese food or emos?
Chinese food. I can eat Chinese food every day. It ain't the healthiest thing.
all that sodium in it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right. So Loyola basketball program or SLUH basketball program in your time?
I have to go with right now with what I know best right now, and that's Loyola basketball. They ain't the greatest, but you know, just to see them out there on the court, you know, yeah.
So who do they play against? Like, what are the other schools they play against?
They play at all the CYC. So, and the majority of them are the white schools. You know,
is it Southside? Are they playing more Southside schools?
Yep. They're in the Southside region. So Mary Queen
of Scots.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of them over there, over in the area. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. If you had to pick the best football player to come out of SLUH, who would you pick?
Wow. The best football player to come out of SLUH during my time.
No, I'm talking about period. That you've seen period.
Oh, period. Shoot. I would say Jason, off the top of my head, it'd be this guy named Jason Dulick.
Yeah, he's the coach at Gateway.
Yes. Yep.
Really, Jason Dulick, huh?
Yeah, he was a star. And well, put it like this: in between Jason and Henry Jones.
Okay.
Henry was back during Henry was a freshman when I was a senior. But it would be between those two. Yeah, probably, Jason, and if I had to choose, it would probably be Henry because he went a little bit
to the Super Bowl 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Dulick, I think he still has the receivers records at Illinois.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
All right, the best basketball player that went to SLUH.
Oh, dude, I ain't into basketball.
Oh no, let's change it to your sport, track.
The best track would have to be Paul Cheney. Okay. Yeah, Paul Cheney was a man.
I remember when Paul Cheney went to the University of Iowa. I didn't even know him. I sent him a message like, "What you went to my rival school. I went to school with you. We went to my rival. We don't know each other for 4 years." He emailed me back like, "What?" He didn't know who I was because I wasn't there when SLUH was. I like, we can talk after your 4 years at Iowa. So like, me and him cool. He's in Chicago now.
Yeah. I talked to his dad. He's a Kappa too. He's a Kappa.
Paul is too?
Paul is a Kappa. Yep.
You just put this, it was like the board. You just made everybody. It's kids probably now, they don't even know that they became Kappas out being someone else that was older than them and don't even know where it even came from.
I'm telling you, man, it's just amazing, man. I mean, you got Dante,
Thomas, Brennan.
Oh my God.
Jason.
I'm telling you, brother.
It's a long list.
Yeah.
It's a long list. Well, Mr. Clark, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you so much. Where can people get in touch with you for Loyola or donations or getting involved with Loyola Academy?
Man, they can look at the website and get all the information they need, www.loyolaacademy.org. And they can learn about the school, learn what we're doing, changing lives, and get in where they fit in, whether that's coming and volunteering or giving a $1 bill,
right,
or giving $1 million.
Yeah,
get in where
you rather have the from coming to my rather have it the ones that fold, not the jingle and change. Well, Mr. Clark, I appreciate this so much. All the brothers been like, "Oh man, you finna get on now. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good." Yeah. So it's so many people you have impacted. Like I said, you have been a blessing to a lot of us that you don't even understand and know. Even people that left SLUH that didn't finish, they still talk about you. They still talk about you in so many different ways. Well, and I really appreciate it.
That's humbling, and I appreciate you, brother. And I appreciate you having me on. And God bless you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.